Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today on the Man Blitz. I'd just like to take a moment to remind you to follow us on Twitter at Man Blitz. Visit us at www.3manblitz.com. You can listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Breaker, and don't forget to view us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Man Blitz. And this episode, we're going to be breaking down Missouri. And as you can see, if you're with us on video, we have a special guest, Stingray. Say hey, Stingray.
What's up, dude? How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Good to have you on, Stingray. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we jump in and go ahead and take our shot, Stingray, why don't you kind of tell us what you've been up to lately? Tell us what's going on, bro.
I tell you what, y'all go ahead and do those shots first. I'm interested by that.
Hey, man, we've got our own custom shot glasses.
Yeah, look at that. Boom. We'll take our shots now.
Yes, sir. All right, boys.
All right, guys. Well, this one's to the Missouri Tigers and their fan bases, and Stingray, Queasy and Andrew, and myself.
Yes, sir. Go Mizzou, go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Woo. Yes, sir.
It's better not doing this in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've done a few in the morning. We still do our shots.
I got you.
Those are rough. So come on, holler at us, Stingray. Let everybody know kind of what you've been up to, what's going on, how much you love your Tigers, this and that.
Okay, yeah, I think Missouri's going to be quite well this year. They got a new coach, Barry Odom. The tenure there was not as exciting as we thought it was after the Gary Pinkel. He had to retire early due to health issues.
Yeah.
And so, we thought Barry Odom was going to do quite well. And he just didn't really pan out. There were a couple of years there where, they lost to teams that they weren't supposed to lose to, a.k.a. Vandy and Kentucky a couple of years. And so it just got to where, with the sanctions and everything that Missouri was placed on, it was just time to move on.
Yeah, and I feel you. As a Tennessee fan, I know how that feels to lose to teams you're not supposed to. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with them moving on from Odom.
Yeah, Vandy done showed up and owned a couple teams they shouldn't have.
Yes.
They got to get a few every once in a while.
You gotta let them win some. They're like the little brother. You gotta let them win every now and then.
That's true. That is so true.
But I really haven't been since this pandemic and everything shut down. I really haven't been focusing on college football or sports because you really don't know what the future holds for college sports moving forward, because a lot of teams are coming back to campus now and they're doing a lot of voluntary workouts, and a lot of players are testing positive for COVID. So you really don't know which direction the season is going to go, if we're going to have a season, or if it's going to be, where we have one but no fans in the stadiums. I mean, it's wild times right now.
Yeah, and let's really hope. I think we're all collectively, as an entire football fan base, holding our breath and just kind of praying, and to whoever we believe in and all this, that there is going to be a season. I mean, we talked about it together, and if there's not football this year, I mean, we need football. We need football so much. We just need it, okay? I need it.
Right.
I know when we first got in contact with Stingray, you were talking about how like this was kind of a thing you wanted to touch on, because I mean it's very concerning. I mean, for fans that are like as passionate as we are and this and that, and you had said something about you were kind of keeping up with the fact that the Pac-12 might not have a season and this and that. I mean, this kind of stuff, it's scary.
Right, and earlier, I think it was back in March or April, Michigan, their AD came out and said, or it was either their AD or their president came out and said, if there were no people on campus, they would not have football this year. Right. So it's going to be real interesting to see how that plays out.
And they're like one of the college football blue bloods, like college football runs through Michigan. You gotta have Michigan.
Yes. And did y'all see the news today, though? The NFL canceled the Hall of Fame game on August the 6th. So, I mean, why would they do that? Because that's a that's the pretty much the hoorah to start off the season. So it's going to be interesting to see coming up over the next few months.
Yeah, I was very disappointed to see that.
Right.
Well, I do know SEC Commissioner Greg, what's his name? Greg Sankey said that. Yes, Sankey. He said that there would be no SEC media days if there was going to be no college football season. He said he didn't want to get the hype up and get it built up if we weren't actually going to go and play. Now, they are going through with the SEC media days, but it's actually going to be a virtual event. We're actually trying to get access to that right now. We're working on that, but I feel like it's going to be a tight room. Well, guys, with a little bit of the COVID stuff aside, Jeremy, do you want to go ahead and jump into Missouri's offense and see what you can kind of dissect?
Yeah. So we'll start in with their new coach. So that's Eliah Drinkwitz, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. Drinkwitz. All right. Yes. So he's out of Appalachian State, and I believe he was only there for 1 year, where he went 12-1. And he likes to run this pro-style offense, which is like a no huddle with a lot of multiple fronts and a lot of motion. And that's one of the biggest questions that I have, and I want to pose to you guys just right off the bat is, I mean, it sounds great, but it's been tried in the SEC before, and it didn't really work out. And I want to know, especially from you, Stingray, do you think it can work with the personnel that they have? Do you think that this up-tempo style could work?
Well, it worked under Gary Pinkel, but it did not work under Derek Dooley and Barry Odom. So we'll just have to see what style he brings to the table. But Gary Pinkel, back when they were in the Big 12 and moved over to the SEC, they were really up-tempo, fast. And it actually worked. After they got into the SEC year 2, year 3, they won the SEC East 2 years in a row and got to Atlanta, but then dropped goose eggs when they got to the championship game.
No. And I think what it did is it basically brought an element that SEC teams weren't really used to.
Yes.
Yeah, so it caught a lot of people off guard, and that's what they did. I always think, when I think of up-tempo style, I always think of Oregon, like what they did back in the day, right, when they were real successful. And they didn't run a ton of plays. Their playbook wasn't, 50 pages deep or anything. They just ran a handful of plays, and they just ran them so quickly, they tried to get people out of position, and that's when they were attacked. So I know the biggest thing that Drinkwitz has said is that it's really his offense really needs to revolve around his quarterback.
Yes.
So... And that's the big thing, is I know that they've got Sean Robinson that transferred from TCU, right? Yes. And I'm pretty sure he's projected to be the starter.
But and then we had Kelly Bryant last year, and that didn't go so well.
Yeah, and he got hampered up by injuries, right?
Right.
Like he got kind of nicked up a little bit, and
about halfway through the season, right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Missouri, they were pretty good out of the gates, right? Like they had a pretty decent season going, and then it kind of dropped off.
Yes.
So I bet he wishes he was still there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't really know a whole lot about Sean Robinson, honestly. Like I watched some of his film. He came from TCU. It looks like he's an okay player. He had to sit out last season, 2019, after he transferred. They didn't let him clear out, but it seems like it's either him, Taylor Powell, or Connor Bazelak, who's the guy that ended up tearing his ACL. But I think it's going to be Sean Robinson. It looks like he has the lion's share of the experience.
That's what I've got projected as well. And, I like the idea of the up-tempo offense, keeping the defense on their heels. And like Jeremy and I were discussing earlier today, the fact that, you don't allow the defense to substitute. But for this to work, you have to have a well-oiled machine. Like your entire offense has to be one solid unit. Yep. You have to know how many hairs is on the head of the dude next to you. You got to know when you're calling this play, the quarterback claps 3 times, you don't move. You've got to be very intelligent. And I'm just not sure that there's enough time due to everything that's going on to really install this offense and have it work this season.
Right.
That's scary.
And I'd be interested, I'm very interested actually, to see how much they rely on their running backs. So it's arguably the best thing they have coming back is the Roundtree kid, Larry Roundtree. And then they've got the other guy, Tyler Beatty, who's got real good hands, and I think he's like the second leading receiver coming back or something. So, I think he'll try to use the Beatty kid a lot, but how much are they going to have to rely on their running game? And when you run that up-tempo style offense, what I hate to think of is like, you try to go real fast and then you go 3 and out, right? And then your defense is on the field all the time, and then they wear out, and then what do you do? Yeah. So, and the line, I also have a lot of questions with the line. I know that like 3 of their top guys is Tristan Colon-Castillo. There's a couple of these hyphen guys. Trevor Wallace-Sims and Yasir Durant. Like, they're all gone. So, they do have a lot of guys returning, and they're a big line, too. Apparently, they average like 6'6", 321. So it's a big SEC line,
Oh, yeah.
Big old boys.
Hopefully they can get that going. If they get a little ground and pound going, and they can do it real quick, they can wear on these bigger guys.
Yes.
And that's if that is going to succeed. If his style of offense is going to succeed, I think it has to go through the run game, honestly. Obviously, he wants it to revolve around the offense of the quarterback, and he wants it to be, I think his quote was, I had it written down somewhere, it's something to the degree of he wants to own the down-low game, his words, and then have a vertical passing game. So, and it sounds good. And your receivers, apparently it's a little thin. I think you got the Virginia Tech transfer, Damon Hazelton, and Stingray, you might be able to catch me up on some of these guys. And then you got Barrett Bannister, he was a former walk-on, and then you got Jalen Knox. Mm-hmm. And then you got tight end Daniel Parker Jr. I think he's supposed to be slated as the starter. So I know that the Knox kid and the Vautech transfer, the Hazelton kid, they're supposed to be really good, sure-handed guys. So I wonder how quickly they'll switch if the vertical stuff doesn't work. How quickly they're going to try to do like quick hitches
and bubble screens.
Exactly, because. To me, I think when you got the up-tempo going and you got your corners, you have to communicate back and forth, right? Yeah. So they're going to have to figure something out. So where are they going to be soft? And to me, it's like, okay, well, it's going to be like the coverage from the linebackers and possibly even the corners. So you can move the ball real quick that way. So that's my take on their offense. I like the Larry Roundtree kid. I know that he's like the second all-time rusher. He's about to be the second all-time rusher, and he's like 450 yards away or something. And last season he didn't have a great year. He's been starting for a while, getting a lot of carries anyway. So he had something crazy. He had like 186 carries, and it was like 4.5 yards per carry, basically, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all, really.
No, especially not in the SEC when we've got these stacked run defenses.
Yeah. So what I look at when I see these kind of offenses coming in, especially if they're successful, is are we going to see the SEC coming out of this run-heavy, real aggressive defensive style and going towards the more up-tempo LSU, throw it around the ball field everywhere, I don't know. I'm excited to see what it looks like. I'm concerned in regards to all the COVID stuff, being able to get in and really being able to try to install and have everybody adopt and adapt to the offensive style. Because I imagine, like you said, the communication between the offensive line's got to be just on point. So, will it happen?
Plus, you've already missed all the spring because you couldn't do anything there.
Exactly. So. Yep. Yeah, so, we usually do our prediction for the upcoming season, and I've got them right now.
Hold on. Stingray, cover your ears.
Stingray, I mean, he's a good guy. He knows. I mean, just like I'm a Tennessee fan, I don't have Grandoy's, predictions other than us beating Alabama. So
I was trying to keep Stingray from whooping your butt. Bro, come on.
He's got a long drive ahead of him.
No, I don't do that, man.
No, I mean, realistically, they've got a couple of good wins. I expect them to take care of Vanderbilt. Like, that's what I would want to do, okay? Like you had said earlier, Stingray, Vanderbilt's a must-win. Nobody wants to lose to Vandy, ever. Okay?
Andy Vandy.
Candy Vandy. So, and then you got Central Arkansas, Eastern Michigan, Louisiana, and even Arkansas. I'd put those all as wins.
Right.
So to me, the base is 5-7. The question marks I have, the only non-SEC game is the BYU because it's at BYU.
Yes.
And BYU took Tennessee to like 3 overtimes last year.
Yeah.
So I got to see them up close. I was at that game. They're a good team. I don't know what they have coming back. I've not done extensive research or anything on BYU, so I've got it as like a 50-50 because I really don't know what they've got. I really don't.
So you got them losing in Starkville?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, I do not.
Really?
I do not, no. Oh, wait, or do I?
I don't know, do you?
I don't remember. We'll see it in a minute. I'll pull up my graphic. Don't worry, guys.
Okay.
I got you.
Graphic. But that's what I've got the offense. I want to know what you guys think, honestly. Like, what's your take on what they've got coming in? Drinkwitz's offense. He's also acting as the offensive coordinator. So, he's running the team. He's also running the offense. He's calling the plays. I don't really like that aspect, what most people, it seems like a lot of people are doing. I think Leach is doing it too, only because there's so much that goes on with head coach, especially for the first year.
Yes.
You can always take over.
I don't think Gus Bus had a lot of success trying to do that, and it does concern me seeing that. You don't see defensive-minded coaches really trying to do that a whole lot. You don't see that really with Nick Saban or Kirby Smart or these kind of guys. Why is it like an offensive thing? Why do offensive coaches do that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
You think you'd want to like say, okay, I want to run this, and then hand the playbook off to somebody else and say, you take care of it. But, yeah, that's just me. But I'll bet I would, if I were a betting man, which I am, I'd say he's probably got an offensive coordinator next season.
Yes,
probably.
So hey, Queasy, what you got on the defense, my man? You've been kind of quiet up there.
No, I'm going to change up my segment a little bit.
He's listening.
No, I want to change up my segment a little bit. Usually, of course, I talk about the defense. But today is going to be about Stingray. I just wanted to congratulate you on your weight loss.
Thank you.
I see you've been working out very well. So I see you've been doing a lot of walking.
Right.
Yep.
And attacking rabbits and birds. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Hey, I did see. I saw that bird that was trying to attack you over there.
Yeah, that's good stuff, my friend.
You need to leave those animals alone. I know it's you out there bothering them.
Yeah.
So that's real good, especially during this pandemic, to stay healthy. So
Yes.
again, I just want to congratulate you about that, and it's always good to have that in your life.
Thank you, man.
Of course, man. I also seen that you was an avid meteorologist.
Oh yes, I love the weather.
I seen that. I seen there was a huge storm on its way here. Well, I guess through Mississippi.
Yeah, in Mississippi right now, there's a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, and I just actually got off the air doing severe weather coverage on social media. That's something new that I've started doing.
Okay. You said something new?
Yeah, that's something new that I'm doing, yes.
All right. That's real good, man. And I also seen that there's good news out there. You might start up your Stingray show again?
Yes, That
official just yet?
It just depends on if there's football or not, because, there's not much to talk about right now.
Okay.
You're just hoping and praying that, we get some sports in the fall. I saw where the Major League Baseball, hopefully they're about to start up.
I heard about 60 games. I heard they're going to
be about 60 games. What happens if another round of COVID comes in and everybody starts getting testing positive? Do you go ahead and shut it down again or what? So, we're just all in limbo, crossing our fingers, hoping everything pans out.
Exactly. A year full of questions. I see that, man.
Yes.
No. I'll say one good.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, one good thing that I've heard about COVID is that it's good if you get a lot of vitamin D. So people that are outside a lot apparently is a really good thing. So that should be good for football.
Right.
Especially if it pans out. But that's literally what I've heard. So I don't know if it's true. I'm not a scientist, but I like to think it's true.
Football is the cure.
Maybe not so much for night games. I don't know.
All right. Well, even if we did have football, would you guys go to games though without a vaccine?
Oh,
that's the key.
I would go. Yeah.
But, I'm a Georgia fan. We're crazy. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'll take my mask.
I mean,
and I'll get my temperature taken. As long as I feel like I'm good, I'll sit there, whatever. I'll
tell you, Stingray. You know, we the three of us guys, we work together. We go into work every day with 5,000 other people. You know, I mean, like, it's nothing for us really. I hate to say that.
Just for the record, my wife's sitting over here and she's telling me, "No, you ain't going to that."
It's all right, bro. We'll kidnap you.
Right.
Got you.
Because I want to go. No.
Well, before I hand it back to Andrew, I will say that if you do have your Stingray show, hey, we'll be ready to come on there anytime you need us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Booty.
It's all yours, Andrew.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys know I like to pull up my graphic, but before I do, and I guess this one's kind of pointed at Stingray too, because he is a Missouri fan. But what would it take for you to be happy with Drinkwitz in season 1? Like, I know that you've got the pandemic going on. We're talking about how tough it may be to get his offense installed, and you know, I mean, like, the defense doesn't have all the best recruits, so you know, maybe it's not the best defense in the SEC. You know, like, what would you be happy with at the end of the season? What would it be for you to say, hey, you know, everything's fine. Let's give him a few more seasons. Everything's going to be great. What's that, like, benchmark you've got?
6-6, you know, bowl game, you know, low tier bowl game would be very good, especially since we didn't go to a bowl game last year because it was just such a down year, horrible year, and we fell apart in the last half of the season. So 6-6, 7-5, something like that, just to kind of, you know, okay, we're going to a bowl game, we're making progress, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like that.
Jeremy knew that pain last year.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you know, when you get realistic, you know, obviously everybody wants to win SEC championship games, right? Yes. But it's you got to take it a step at a time. So year one's very unrealistic. If anybody had those expectations, there's those fans, right? Everybody's Tennessee fans are the worst. You know, this is our year. This is our year here every year.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, 6-6 is a very good benchmark. You were 6-6 last year. Would have went to a bowl game, but you had the ban or whatever.
Yes.
So, but. You know, I think it could happen. I really do. I think it could happen. Like I said, I think I've got them 5-7 at a floor, and that's you know, if they beat BYU, they could definitely. I've got them beating Arkansas. They could beat. There's a couple of those games where you just don't know, and that's the bad part is you just don't know.
Right.
And then you throw in all the extra stuff, and it just kind of makes it worse. It makes it harder for them to be successful. But then again, they're all young kids. You know, they can come together, and winning's contagious. If they come out of the gate winning, who knows?
Yep.
And it only takes a defensive player to slip in an up-tempo offense one time for a touchdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have y'all done Mississippi State yet?
We have. Yeah, we did do Mississippi State. The whole Mike Leach.
What was y'all's record for them?
Oh, that's a good question.
Benchmarks.
Let me go shot. Let me pull mine up real quick, and I'll tell you.
Because I'm real interested to see what y'all think about Mike Leach.
Yeah, so Mike Leach offensively, as an offensive mind, like, dude's crazy, and I actually don't. I don't think he's a terrible coach for them. You know what I mean? For them. But man, a lot of people that after the show, a lot of people were like tearing him up. Like they hate Mike Leach. They hate that dude.
Well, I tell you what his one downfall is.
Okay.
And it's not on the offensive side, it's on the other side of the ball. Wherever he's been, he's had a subpar defense. And that may have worked at Texas Tech, and that may have worked at Washington State. But you know what? If you're going to be a successful coach in the SEC, you have to have at least a decent defense to do anything when you go up against people like Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, and especially Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin now. So, you've really got to have a good defense. And I do question how his defense is going to look in Starkville.
Yep. I had the Mississippi State Bulldogs going 6-6.
Okay.
I had them as an upside of 8-4, really depending pretty much what you just said was Zach Arnett's defense. He brings that 3-3-5 defense. I want to see, because it's an aggressive style defense. Will they get the turnovers? Will they be able to stymie some of these guys? I don't know.
Yes.
It's another big unknown.
Well, yeah. I like Leach, but I like his offensive mind. I really do. I'm with Jeremy on that one for sure.
Right.
He's a weird dude, so I think weird. It's entertaining anyway.
He made Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
And you know the
All
deal.
right. So for their 2020 schedule, I'm not going to pull up the graphic. I'm just going to share it with you guys. I've got them beating Central Arkansas and Vanderbilt, giving them credit on that one. Okay. I've got a loss to South Carolina because it's at South Carolina, and then a win versus Eastern Michigan. Probably a loss to Tennessee, and I've got the BYU game as a loss. And that one I'm with Jeremy. It's like a coin toss. Yeah. Like I had a really hard time with that one. That was the last win-loss that I put in there. And I just put it as a loss because I'm not sure. That's right before their, the middle of the season. It's before their bye week. I'm not sure how the offense is going to be clicking at this point. But if it is, then that's a straight up win right there. And then a loss versus Georgia versus Kentucky, then the bye week. And I do have Mississippi State as a loss here,
right? Because
I do think Mike Leach actually has the tools at Mississippi State to pull off the win in Starkville, and I'm sure you're going to be at that game if it's at all possible.
Probably yes.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that one will be a heartbreaker or not. That's another one of those games that could be a coin toss. So I could easily see a 7-6 record. Probably a loss at Florida, a win versus Louisiana, and a win versus Arkansas at the end of the season. Which that'll be a good way to cap off the season. Versus old Arky right there. And I'm the way I'm looking at Sam Pittman right now, I'm sure he's going to have a strong ground pound game. So if the offense is moving at all by then, I think you guys will be fine.
Yes, sir. Speaking of Sam Pittman.
So give me 5-7 to 7-5. So 6-6 would probably be the magic number, kind of what you're hoping for. So now let's get a little SEC history in here. Queasy loves this part.
Come on. Who doesn't?
The NCAA gives credit for the first ever homecoming game to Missouri in 1911. A lot of schools claim this, but Missouri has the NCAA credit, so that counts.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
The giant rock M behind the north end zone was made by freshmen to celebrate the 1927 win over Kansas State. That used to be a big rivalry game, I think, for Missouri, was it not?
I did not know that.
Sir.
Very cool.
Seniors take a piece of the M when they play their last game at Memorial Stadium. I didn't know that either.
Sorry, I had to jump off just for a second. I apologize about that.
You're good.
Okay, Missouri's mascot, Truman the Tiger, is named for U.S. President Harry Truman.
Yep.
I didn't know his name was Truman the Tiger. I just found that out. And they are actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, there are a lot of new SEC fans, the younger generation coming around, but they are one of the newest teams to join the SEC, along with Texas A&M in 2012. Yes. And if you'll look at my little drinking cup here, there's no Missouri or Texas A&M because it's old.
Old.
All right, so their key players, the guys I want to talk about. Sean Robinson, quarterback. He's a 2017 four-star TCU transfer. His 2018 stats, because that was the last season that he actually played, he had 204 attempts, 124 completions, 1,344 yards, 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And this is the kicker. 49 rushing attempts, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's dual threat, and he is legitimately dual threat. He likes to run. And I think we're going to see Drinkwitz implement that into the offense a little bit. It's in the SEC, when you have these big run-stopping defenses, you don't want to write up a whole lot of plays where your quarterback has to run. Right. But you want to know that whenever the pocket breaks down, your quarterback can run.
Yeah, he's gone, yeah.
Yes, sir. You don't want to Jake Fromm stumbling forward into the defense.
I could see them putting a couple of those RPOs in there just to freeze the defensive ends up a little bit, just to see if he can get on the outside or what they're going to do. Because if you don't have those, all these defensive ends want to crash really hard, right? That's the only thing they live for. They want to crash hard and they want to hit people. Yes. And that's what they want to do. And if you put that little bit of hesitation in them, then you can get outside of them or inside of them, and that's what you want. And they'll probably have to do that a little bit.
And then, of course, he's got the speed to beat him on the outside. So, All right, Larry Roundtree, the third running back. He's a senior. Now, this is a guy I really like. He's probably one of my top 5 running backs in the SEC this season if I had to make a list, which I'm sure I will at some point. And last season wasn't very good for him, but his 2018 stats were much better. But I'm obligated to read off his 2019 stats. 186 attempts, 829 yards, 9 touchdowns, 13 receptions, 70 yards. Now, my notes on this guy, he has really good downfield vision. Once he sees green and he can kind of pick out where the defenders are, it's almost like time slows down for him a little bit, and he can really move. Now, he hits high gear when he's busting through the hole in the line. Like, you'll see him hesitate. He has that patience about him. And when he, kicks, he's gone.
Yes.
And he's pretty good at slipping through tackles, too. He's not too bad. You can't one-arm this guy.
No, you can't.
No. And I would assume he's probably your favorite returning player this season.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I wish, we were having that tight end come back.
Oh, Albert O?
Yes.
Yeah, he was a beast, man.
Yeah, he was really good.
I mean, Derek Dooley just went away from him and Roundtree last year.
Yeah, I can speak to the woes of Derek Woolley. What did I say?
Derek Woolley.
Hey,
Derek Dooley.
Many shots.
I have. I've been killing him over here by the side. If you see me, yeah. But Derek Dooley, Derek Fooley, I like to call him.
Wow.
I mean, look what he did to us. Look what he did to the UT.
You're not allowed to disrespect that name just because of his dad. I'm sorry, but I gotta one up you here.
Well, his dad was a great coach. Derek Dooley, not so much.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay, so Damon Hazelton, he's a senior wide receiver, and I know, or grad transfer. I'm sorry, and I know Jeremy hit on him a little bit, but he was. Check this out. He was a 2016 2-star Ball State commit. He committed to Ball State, and he played there for 1 year, and he announced that he was going to transfer to Virginia Tech in 2017. So check this out. This guy is 6'4", 215 pounds. If you were that big of a boy, you should automatically get your 3rd star, just because.
Yes.
He's huge.
Well, I guarantee you this. He didn't get the 3rd star or 5-star because Alabama didn't look at him.
No doubt.
I mean, when Alabama looks at you, you always get that 5-star,
Yeah,
That's
you get it up.
BS.
Yeah.
Well, I really like Damon Hazelton, and I've only given this credit to one other wide receiver, but as far as his build goes, I won't necessarily say his play style, but as far as his build goes, he kind of reminds me of Julio, speaking of Alabama. But he had 31 receptions for 527 yards and 8 touchdowns on just 31 receptions. That's insane. Yes. But he's a huge dude, and he's a big receiver, and he owns the air ball. If you're throwing up a 50-50, he's going up higher than you are. So if he gets his hands on it, that's it.
Yes. And that's going to really help going downfield, too. And in the red zone, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he may not be the fastest guy on the field, but, if he can get a few yards upfield before the line breaks down and you can just fire off a ball to him, over everybody else's head, you're okay.
Yep.
Not so bad. Now, this is a guy that I really, really, really like. I like Larry Roundtree, but this is probably my favorite returning player on this team, and I watched some of his highlights, and
I know who it is.
Man, was I impressed. Oh, okay, who is it?
It's Nick Bolton.
It is Nick Bolton. Man, I love linebackers, man. And Nick Bolton. And Jeremy, let's go ahead and make the shot bet. Okay. That's something we do on here, Stingray. Whenever we decide to pay up bets, we pay up in shots. I have a shot bet going with Jeremy that Dylan Bolton will finish the season with more tackles than Dylan Moses.
Not just tackles. Not just tackles, though, with sacks, too. You remember
sacks
you made
count
that.
As well, but sacks we're counting sacks as 3 tackles.
Sacks count as 3 tackles.
Yeah, but I've got my juice on Nick Bolton. I'm sorry. I like Nick Bolton a lot. I watched some of his highlights, and he had 100 total tackles last season. 70 solo. Let me say it again. 70 solo. Wow. 30 assisted tackles. Yeah, he had 1 sack, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and he is a hard hitter, man. He puts you on your butt. He really does. And he's excellent in coverage. He kind of reminds me of Deion Jones, who plays for the Atlanta Falcons, came out of LSU. Very good coverage linebacker. And he uses his leverage and speed very well when he's making a tackle. I'm very impressed with this guy. He's a first round talent. I'm going to say that. He's very good.
He's definitely going to be the linchpin of the defense.
Yes.
Like, without question. It's going to start and end with him. So
now, the difference between him and Dylan Moses, I can't necessarily speak to Nick Bolton's leadership skills. I haven't really heard a whole lot about that or seen a whole lot about that. You know, Dylan Moses, he's the guy. He's the real quarterback of the defense. He's calling out plays. But Nick Bolton, when it comes to just raw physical talent, he is a freak of nature. I love this guy.
You know, some leaders want to be in that role, and they're real vocal, and I don't know if he's that guy or not, but he's going to do it by example, which is probably more important. Even if he's not that guy, he's not a natural-born leader, which I don't know if he is or isn't, but if he's making that kind of havoc, he's going to be. Yeah. Because it's contagious. Everybody wants to be around that guy. They're going to swarm the football. They're going to hit hard like he does, and as long as he's successful, the defense should also be successful. So.
Yep. Yeah. But give me Nick Bolton over Dylan Moses all day long. He's probably, oh man, I'm a Georgia fan, so I can't put him over any Georgia linebackers, but he's going to be my number 2 favorite linebacker coming back this season in the SEC. You'll have to forgive me, my bias took over a little bit. But yeah, I love Nick Bolton.
He should.
All right, so you like Georgia, you like Tennessee. Who do you like?
I'm a Michigan fan.
Michigan, I got you.
Yeah, so I'm completely out of this whole conversation. Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan. Big Ten.
Yeah, we talked Queasy into doing this college segment with us because we were like, we're going to do SEC, and Queasy's like, SEC.
He says I'm in. Hey. You can't do it without me.
I support my guys, but I'm also right with my Big Ten, my Michigan, yeah.
And
I'm gonna give you this. I got Missouri going 12-0.
Awesome.
If he had to pick an SEC team,
that's awesome.
If he had to pick an SEC team, it's Mizzou.
I will tell you, I do like out of the Big Ten, I do like Purdue because one of my trainer's sons is the actual punter for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
That's wild.
Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome, actually.
That's wild.
Is he constantly in there wearing his Purdue stuff?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Yeah.
Wouldn't you be? Wouldn't you be too?
I would, yes, definitely.
Yeah. I wear my Tennessee stuff, but I never went there.
Purdue actually gave him a scholarship to punt. And Alabama would not even give their scholarship to a punter. So
that's why Alabama can never have good, really good kickers or punters.
Yes.
I don't want to say they're not really good.
What does an Alabama field goal sound like? Ting.
Doink.
Yep.
Doink. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, well, yeah, Stingray, thanks for joining us. And I think Jeremy had one more question for you.
Yeah, Stingray, so what did you do with all of your Mississippi State bells? So I heard that you have to get your first bell by somebody giving it to you. Like, you're not supposed to buy it or go get it or whatever. So what did you do with all your bells? Because I assume you had a lot.
I do, and I still have them. I still display them. I just don't ring them.
Dude, you have got to hook us up with a bell.
Listen, we got a deal for you, bro. If you can send us some bells, we will send you some 3-Man Blitz merch. Yeah. And we'll call it a fair trade.
Sweet.
I really just want to ring them in Queasy's ear all day.
No.
I just want to display mine back with all my other stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about, having more guests on like you, more vocal fans, guys who like to make videos and really get out there with their fan base, and us having like a big SEC memorabilia, like a display case.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you would be our first guy, bud.
Our first one.
Yeah. Yes. And one other question, Stingray. I know you're not a Mississippi State fan anymore, but have you heard about the dead dog?
No.
So this is one of the facts. So Andrew likes to go up and pull up a lot of history that people don't really know, and it's entertaining because I don't know it. I don't think any of us really know it unless you're a diehard fan.
I love history, man. I love especially SEC history.
Yeah, exactly.
So, to continue the story, I'm sorry, Jeremy, I got to cut you off. I'm sitting here reading off the facts like I was doing about Missouri, I had my little screen pulled up, and I was sharing the stuff. And I said, so Mississippi State's first live mascot, their first live Bulldog mascot, Bully, is buried underneath the players' bench on the 50-yard line.
Yes.
And Queasy started laughing so hard, I thought he was going to pee himself right there on camera.
So this is true.
It is true. Yes, it is.
It's awesome.
And that's not the reason you left Mississippi. I would have left Mississippi State because of that.
Right.
Jeez.
Oh man. Well, we'll have to keep in touch with you, Stingray. It was good having you on. Maybe we'll get together and go to a game together. I know we're all fans of different schools, but believe me, I love every kind of SEC football there is. So.
Right. Well, dude, I thank you, and I do apologize that I wasn't more informed. But with the pandemic, I've just been kind of just doing my own thing and not really keeping up with sports because you really don't know what the future holds. So
exactly,
no, you're fine, man. I think you did fantastic, and we really do appreciate you coming on, man. We really do.
So.
And what's this pandemic called again?
Corona.
Okay, bottoms up. Beer word was Corona. Every time you said it, we had to drink.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on, Stingray. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much, and y'all have a great evening. Okay.
You do the same.
Go for 3.
Go for 3, baby.
All right.
Go for 3.